Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill, a breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help, just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following letters were written by our troops.
My dear fellow Americans, I truly appreciate your support. I was starting to wonder if people had forgotten about us over here, but then one of my buddies showed me this website, and now as tears are streaming down my face, I can see for sure that you haven't. Private Emily B., U.S. Army.
It's so heartwarming to see the American people not letting the men and women of the armed forces be forgotten. Your letters make a group of grown men, battle-hardened and gruff, act like a bunch of kids around a Christmas tree. Thanks. Staff Sergeant Matthew H., U.S. Army.
Your support may be the most important thing our troops can carry with them. But don't take our word for it. Take theirs. To show your support, visit americasupportsyou.mil. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole, wishing you all a happy and a Merry Christmas. The joy of living is in the giving. So let's give lots of toys for tots.
Since 1947, the United States Marine Corps has been helping Santa fill his sleigh, making happier holidays for deserving children right in your community. Go to toysfortots.org and learn how you can make a difference.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. It is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live from the Bunkerized Studio, somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. Here it is, Election Day, 2016, November the 8th, in the year of our Lord 2016. Folks, I got to tell you, I'm a little bit apprehensive, a little bit nervous about this. I do not have a good feeling. And I don't say that to scare people. Well, maybe I do, to scare you to go out there and vote for Trump. But I don't have a good feeling. And I don't have a good feeling, not because I don't believe. I believe that our country has been changed in such a way by the liberals that it is going to be very difficult for us to change back within the next couple of generations. Now, let me explain. I got some stuff in here this morning from the paper pile. Oh, by the way, the call-in number, 603-835-3226. Here in the paper pile, there's some stuff here about the makeup of the very fabric of this nation, how it has changed. There's over 60 million immigrants in this country right now. In other words, 60 million people that are here legally that were born someplace else. They don't have the same allegiance as a native born does. Now, I'm not being anti-immigrant. I'm telling you exactly what has happened. Now, here's the problem. We have had this unfettered immigration for years now. We have not taken the time or had the time to really properly integrate and assimilate all of these wonderful new immigrants. Now, that's what we need to do. Now, that takes a little bit of time. Now, what we're finding out is a large number of immigrants coming from certain parts of the world are voting Democrat once they get the legal right to do so. And this is why Democrats have been flooding our streets with these immigrants. Now, this cannot continue for very much longer. Even Democrats got to see that they can't continue to do this. They can't continue to flood because at some point, these immigrants, they're going to have children here. The children are going to grow up. Many of them, they think, the liberals think and believe that they will fall in line with their parents and be good little liberals. That's not always the case. In fact, we know, historically speaking, there are swings. Now, we've taken some violent swings back and forth from conservative to liberal, and I got it, the next time that we swing back to this nation swings back right, that's it for liberals. It really is. It is going to be a violent swing to the right. And it may not happen in this generation, but it will happen. And it is not going to be pretty. There's going to be blood in the streets, blood in the water, figuratively speaking. But there might actually be real blood, too. Who knows? But at this particular juncture, I got to tell you, today I'm not feeling confident. And I'm not feeling confident because of all of those immigrants, legal, that have become citizens, that were born elsewhere, that have done so based on this notion that, government provides. Now, if you notice, there are not a lot of people coming in from places that do not like their government and don't trust government. In other words, we're not getting a ton of immigrants from Asia where they have a strong dislike or distrust for government, and thus they would not vote for liberal government in this country. We're not getting a whole hell of a lot of them. Instead, we're getting immigrants from places that want U.S. government intervention, like south of our border. Now, look, I am not suggesting that Mexicans or Latinos in general are lazy, but let's face it. If you've come from a country where there is lack and there is nothing and there's government oppression, and you have the opportunity to go someplace where government is going to help you, say they're going to help you and provide for you, at least in part, and give your kids and your family a leg up, wouldn't you want that too? I mean, it's only the natural human condition. If you live in Mexico, if you live in Ecuador, well, maybe not Ecuador, but you live in, I don't know, any Honduras or something, and you're living a less than subsistence lifestyle. I mean, you're poor. I mean, you are poor. And you hear about the stories about people in the United States, the poor in the United States, being taken care of by the government. Getting a monthly stipend so they can feed their family. Isn't that something that you would try to get? If you had nothing, less than nothing, and you were facing starvation on a daily or weekly basis, wouldn't you try to cross over into some place that was a little bit brighter? Well, we cannot blame them for that. We're offering it to them. They hear about it, they see it, they get some people that come back and say, yeah, man, this was the greatest thing ever. It's the truth. The streets are paved with gold or at least government dollars in the USA. Versus what they currently have wherever they are. Now we can say we got to stop illegals, but you got to understand, you cannot be upset with people who are trying to survive. Now, that does not mean that you just let them in. Of course not. You got to be able to control the chaos to some extent. But I cannot be mad at, and you should not be mad at, those people who cross the border illegally simply because they want something better for their family. That's what's happening. Hell, we're advertising it. We're telling people, our government's telling people, it's good over in the U.S. You should come on over. And they're doing it because they know that once they get them here and they get them to a point where they can vote legally or illegally, they're going to vote to continue government subsidies in all its forms. So this is something that the Republicans have ignored for decades. Even good old Ronald Reagan got duped by the liberals on this one. And now we got a guy who says, well, I'm not going to be duped by it anymore. And you got Americans who think that that's a bad thing? So why don't we just drop our borders and just decide that we're going to, everybody all over the world gets a U.S. check. They're going to get a U.S. check. You might as well. I mean, if by their mentality and their logic, you just might as well do it. Forget the USA no longer has borders. The entire world is now a citizen of the United States. You might as well. We don't need to. Why do we need Coast Guard or anything now? Just let everybody come in. Better yet, just let them stay where they are, and we'll send them their monthly U.S. welfare check. Now, I'm only being half facetious here, people, because that's exactly how the left views things. That it's so unfair that we're such a wealthy country. We need to share that. Well, okay, fine. We're $20 trillion in debt. Oh, but we're still a very wealthy nation. No, we're broke. But we're still a very wealthy nation, according to liberals. So why don't we just cut everybody a check that's poor all over the freaking planet? It will save them their lives because, many of them will die trying to get here. So why don't we just save them? Save them the trouble. Not to mention, it might even be better for the environment if they don't try to get in all those boats and burn all that gas and everything trying to get here illegally and, the cars and stuff. Just save them the trouble and probably save their life. Just mail them the freaking check every month to wherever country they're living in. No, we don't have borders anymore, right? We're no longer the United States of America. We're the United States of the world. So might as well do it that way. Seriously, though, it is election day, and I'm not feeling all that confident because of, look, we know all the fraud that has already taken place, folks. I'm not saying, look, if this were, and I got stuff here talking about, they're protecting the elections from hacks, and USA is on full alert to protect the elections and machines from hacks and from cheating, and but it's all over the place. So in other words, what they're telling you is that we've got a government that is woefully inadequate to protect our election system from overwhelming fraud and hackery. That is why I'm not feeling very confident. We've got a lot to overcome. Now, if this were just strictly a fair contest, mano a mano, and nobody else is interfering and nobody's trying to cheat, then Trump would win. I don't know if we've got enough Americans going out there to vote for Trump that will overcome all the massive cheating that is going to take place. You don't understand, liberals are voting for their very lives right now, what they believe to be their very lives. Yeah, some of them, like, Hillary and Bill and maybe even Obama and some other highly appointed or elected officials in the Obama administration, they may be, campaigning for their very lives, to stay out of jail under a Trump administration. I get that. Look, Trump is already, she should be in jail. I mean, you got to understand that he's serious. Hillary knows he's serious. I saw one of the most disturbing pictures this morning. By the way, Uma's back on the trail, or at least visibly back on the trail with Hillary. She never really left Hillary's side, but she's visibly back on the trail. And I know I said that Uma might find herself getting tossed under the bus by Hillary, but now, because I saw this picture this morning, I think it's the other way around. I mean, this is the picture that I saw this morning was taken by someone who's a pro-Hillary person. But the picture was, I mean, it was kind of ominous. It reminds you of a movie where you have the politician is out there in front with the people, and behind the scenes, behind the curtain, is the real power. And in the picture, you see Hillary in the foreground, but behind the curtain, you see Uma. And Uma has got this evil smirk on her face. It sent chills up my spine. And I'm thinking, whoa, maybe I had it wrong. Maybe it isn't Hillary that's going to throw Uma under the bus. Maybe it's Uma that's in control in the first place. There are some people who've said that, by the way. That say that Uma, because she's constantly in Hillary's ear. Every time you turn around, there's Uma is near Hillary's, near her head, near her ear, literally. Just whispering. Isn't that what the devil does? He just whispers into your ear to tell you all the evil stuff and makes you think that you're good. Yeah. So I'm not trying to get biblical on you. But folks, you got to understand that we are being conditioned to accept our fate. And the fate is lack of freedom, government intervention, and being ruled by the ruling class. We are going back to the days of good old monarchy. Don't doubt me, folks. This election is all about that. And I'm nervous as hell that these people are going to steal the election and get away with it.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stocking. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, click to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
To join me here this morning, Election Day morning, here on the Rod Eccles Show. You know, are you feeling nervous about things? As soon as the show concludes this morning, I'll be heading over to my polling place and casting my ballot for a number of people that I believe to be the best that I can choose, that I have to choose from. And in some cases, I'll be holding my nose. In some cases, I'll be highly, very disappointed in the choices that I have. But that's just the way, this sort of things go. At least I have a choice. For now, we have a choice, by the way. And every 4 years, there's already some people talking about, well, what if Hillary gets the popular vote, but doesn't get the 270, but Donald gets the 270. We'll need to change that, won't we? Every 4 years we hear that. And I keep reminding people, no, there's a reason for the Electoral College. It's not outdated. It's to try to level the playing field between the states. Otherwise, we don't have people worried about the small states and doing what's right for everybody. You just go to California, you go to New York, and you go to Illinois, and you go to Florida, and you go to Texas, and pretty much that's it. Maybe Pennsylvania, New Jersey, but that's it. They don't need to go to flyover country. For maybe they'd go to Ohio and Michigan, maybe Detroit, but they don't got to worry about the rest of the country if they go by a popular vote, because you can't win by getting the middle of the country. The population is on the coast, folks. Both coasts. You can't, if you're on a popular basis, you could not win an election unless you won California and New York and Texas. And let's face it, California and New York, and Florida too. Let's face it, California and New York, the two most populous states that we got. Texas is close behind, but California and New York, most populous states we got, they're always going to go for the Dem. They're always going to go for the Democrat. Those two states alone would influence their influence would be far greater in without an electoral college type of system. And we would never get a Republican president ever again if we went that way. And then, look, they know this. This is why they're trying so hard to, every time it comes up, they want to do it that way. Speaking of which, we have some documentation here that has to do with George Soros, believe it or not. Yes, good old Georgie boy. Leaked documents reveal expansive Soros funding to manipulate federal elections. But who's the person that or the people that we always hear about trying to manipulate elections and spending all that money? Yeah, the Koch brothers, right? Isn't that who we always... But Soros outspends the Koch brothers. Well, and he's got far more organizations out there. MoveOn.org, started by Soros. This guy is just plain pure. He's anti-American, and he's an elitist and a globalist, and he's a liberal, and he's anti-Constitution. Well, more when we get back. Hold on, folks.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
3226. Yes, country boy. That's all George Soros is. He's just a country boy, right? Just a country boy. In any case, here are some leaked documents as reported by PJ Media. You know, one of the biggest things that we've had hit this election season is the WikiLeaks stuff. Unfortunately, and I don't know if Julian Assange is surprised by this or not. I'm really, when you stop and think about it, I am not all that surprised that the WikiLeaks hasn't done more damage to the liberal side. And the reason is, believe it or not, is that most liberals, one, either don't care about all that stuff, simply because, hey, you know, as long as the government's going to give me something for free, I don't care what the hell they do. Or two, which is almost just as prevalent, even though the evidence is slapping them right there in the face, they don't believe it. Well, I'm sorry, but John Podesta wrote it. But he didn't mean it. So, he didn't mean it. Hillary didn't mean to use a private server illegally. She didn't mean it. So we have people that don't care because they just want their government check, and all they're told is that Donald Trump is going to stop their free government check. So they don't care if Hillary's a criminal. She's going to keep the money flowing. Or they just don't believe the evidence. It's somebody else's fault. So I don't know if Assange is surprised by this, but this, you know, a lot of people say, well, it is our educational system. And you know what? When it comes right down to it, I'm sorry, folks. You just can't blame others. Yeah, our educational system, our public educational, our public school systems suck. We've known this for 30 or 40 years. But yet y'all still send your kids to public school, and then you still complain about how bad public schools are. Hello? Let me give you a case in point. Let me just, before I get into George Soros. I got this via a friend of mine on Facebook sent me this. And this is from ABC7Chicago.com. Tickets for expired plate stickers on the rise amid stopping mailed notices. Now, in other words, you know, I don't know what they call them in your state. Tags, license plates, doesn't matter. Same thing. You know, those metal rectangles that go onto your car. In every state, they you know, you've got one in the back. In most states, you also got one that you have to put in the front. Some states, I think Florida's you only need to have one plate on in Florida, right? It's really strange. In New Hampshire, you have to have two, but the front one doesn't even have to really be visible. You can stick it in your front windshield and you're good to go. I don't get that at all. But anyway, yeah, live free or die, folks. There was a guy that used to run around New Hampshire with a cardboard self-printed license plate. I don't know whatever happened to him. But he kept fighting the system about, you know, he was a free man and a free stater and all that kind of stuff and didn't need to register. He didn't need a driver's license. He didn't need to register. And he kept talking about some statutes, and both in the federal statutes as well as state statutes that gave him the right and guaranteed his right to be able to drive. Now, they never really covered this guy, so I never really looked into it, so I don't know exactly what he was arguing. And I got to tell you, I don't know what's ever happened to him either. Anyway, I know people want to weigh in on what's going on out there, but let's take a quick call before I get into the Illinois thing. 731, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. What you got this morning?
Well, I got my popcorn ready for the show tonight, and bought all the hams, and because it's going to be about a week-long party here in Tennessee, and I just, voter fraud and all, I believe that we win in a landslide. This morning, didn't sleep well because I had that on my mind, and but I believe that we're going to win this. But for the people out there that have not voted, I had a couple things. You have to remember Benghazi. Trump wasn't involved in that. He didn't delete 32,000 emails. And he hasn't been investigated by the FBI twice and gotten off. He's not sick. He's got more energy than I do. He's doesn't have his foundation. I do know this, that his foundation, my son-in-law works at St. Jude in research, and Trump actually gave $80 million to St. Jude, and he's got a wing with his name on it, and he has the media against him. That's the reason I'm voting for him, and all the pay for play and the Hillary is, you know what, if you're a woman and you're voting for her, you're just stupid. I'm sorry to use those terms, but she takes money from people that throw gays off a building and kill women, for crying out loud. And illegal immigration, she just wants borders wide open, but she's fighting other countries for their borders to be protected. Now, that's messed up, and she wouldn't know the truth if it hit her upside the head. So, now, Trump, I wouldn't give my tax information either. You know what they do to it? They'd scrutinize it. I don't care if he hadn't paid a nickel to me. He's trying to pay his life for us. He has, been rough around the edges, maybe. We all have. And, Rosie O'Donnell, she's a freak, and she needs to move out of the country, along with a few other ones. He's not a racist. Guys, give that one up. He employs, tons of women. He's even been accused of employing illegals, for crying out loud. He doesn't want to kick people out of this country except the people that have intent to harm us. And the media, they are trying to, I told you last week when I found that thing from Channel 5, sure enough, I called them. You know what they said? That was a test. A test? So we have to be vigilant, and I'm headed to my polls all around here today, and with my red shirt on, and so I want everybody to do the same. We have to mega vote, and then we will have justice. We will have justice. Why that FBI guy came out and did that, I'm thinking that he wants her to pay the piper. And maybe the only way he could do that was to know that Trump's going to win. That's what I'm praying.
Well, if he wanted Trump to win, then he should have recommended that be brought up in charges. I think look, I think Comey just likes breathing too much.
Well, you know what?
He's addicted to air.
You know what? Or money. Money. But and he, I'm trying to give him the benefit of a doubt but and that's probably a stretch, I know. But you know what? If he's in on it, then guess what? The slammer's going to be.
Is I would put nothing past these people on the. I don't think that they are so lacking in. They are so brazen.
They really are.
I believe that they would be able to legitimately threaten the director of the FBI, and they would be.
Well,
able to
you know what?
All they have to do is just say, you know what? Hey, Comey, you think you're protected? You think just because you got that FBI badge that you're all copacetic and set to go and you're protected? Nuh-uh, buddy, you can't hide forever. I am sure this is basically what they hinted to this guy, and like
imagine
most
what they're
of us,
going to do to me or you. Imagine what they're going to do to me or you.
Exactly. So most of us, Comey is addicted to air. He's addicted to oxygen. He wants to live.
He wants to hang around. Well,
Yeah.
You know what? I'm telling you, I'm willing to take my chances. And you know what? They can come after me. But you know what? They just better be ready. They better be ready because you know what? My defense is going to be the same as theirs. I'm going to act stupid. I've lost everything. I can't find it. And you know what? I'll set my butt in jail. I'll do whatever. But you know what? They aren't getting anything from me. And you know what? If they steal this, I say to every American, if they steal it, guess what? Don't pay any taxes. They can't spend what they don't have. Why should we have to follow?
Well,
why should we follow the rules?
Don't have, but I don't.
Well,
I'm just
not.
I'm not
being real.
I'm not as confident as in the outcome as you are, simply because of all the potential. I don't think that in a fair fight she's got a chance. You're right. I believe that if our system of elections was clamped down and it was 95%, fraud free, that she doesn't stand a chance. But the problem is I don't think we're 95% fraud free.
Well, you know what? That may be true, but I'm telling you, there's enough people out there. We don't have to. You know what? We pay their way, and so and we can. There's enough of us that you know what? Hey, you know what? I'm telling you, they can't lock us all up. And do you hear me? Hillary Clinton, you can't lock us all up. You're too sick. You couldn't lock me up. I could get my hands around you so fast. So you can't lock us all up.
FEMA
and you know what? We don't have to pay our taxes. If you're going to send it to Iran, why are we paying? Our roads are falling in, or I mean, really, I'm just saying. If they want a big revolt on their hands, they're about to get it. And they better, I mean, you know what? We're not stupid. They think we are. CNN, you know what? You need to shut down because you're out of business. Nobody trusts them. I wouldn't watch them if I had to go dig through wet leaves. I would not watch them. And
thank you, Ted Turner, for starting something with the.
You know what? And all this business, these people, you know what? They're treading on the wrong people. And you know what? We deserve better. I mean, why should we pay, your tax for your food, your tax for your gas, your tax to breathe, your tax? You know what? Just don't buy anything. You know what? We have more power than she thinks we have. And so I have news for her. If we all, and we all have to do it together. Numbers matter. Numbers matter.
Probably why all
Cheating
those
or not.
Homesteading TV shows are proliferating, because everybody, it's to cut down on consumerism, because there's been too much consuming going on out there.
Let me just tell you something. I talked to my interpreter from Haiti who spent 6 weeks here. You know what he said? He said, everybody's sick. They've got headaches. They're dizzy. What do you think they have? What do you think's wrong with them? They have Zekia.
They have what?
I didn't have the heart to tell him. That Zekia.
Oh.
I didn't have the heart to tell him. You wait till all those babies start coming out with the big heads. I'm telling you, and she should be ashamed of herself. And she's not. That's what's just appalling. And she won't be my president. I will never acknowledge her. I wouldn't acknowledge her as the bug catcher, much less the president. And
I am just hoping that at this time tomorrow you'll be able to call back in, waving the American flag.
You know what? Listen,
victory.
You're going to hear this 731 in New Hampshire if this thing. And I mean, you know what? We're on to them. So, and you know what? We have exit pollers out there, and you know what? They're going to have to. I mean, I'm just calling. I've got my number right here to call my precinct, and everybody do this. You request a valid image, everybody who's voted. If they can't give you a valid image, then you report it, because every machine that you voted on, there should be a valid image, and they can't cheat that. And I have my husband's number, and I'm getting ready to call. And if they can't produce it, there's going to be a problem. So everybody, you know what, there's more than one way to skin a cat. That's what we say here in the South. So, you know what, we're not letting them have it. You know what, they're going to have to work. They're going to have to work really, really hard. And you pray today, as I've talked so badly about this woman, that I wouldn't spit on her. She was on fire. Forgive me, Lord. But she is the devil, and we are. You know, we are picking to be globalist or nationalist, and I'm picking B. You know, and so the Big
I'm with
Bang
you on that one. I gotta run now.
Okay, I know you gotta go. Well, thank you for listening to me, and remind your people to ballot image, to call and get that.
That's an important issue. Absolutely.
Okay, all right. And hey, we're going to win tonight. Get your popcorn.
I'll have it
and
ready.
Your dental floss. Okay, see you soon. Bye.
I will definitely have my popcorn all ready and everything. But here's the thing, and thankfully Dixville Notch has not been a precursor of the way things actually turn out, but. Unfortunately, the last 3 elections, Dixville Notch got it right. And I say unfortunately because one of those they got right was Bush in his second term. They voted for Bush. But for the next 2, they voted for Obama, I do believe. But anyway, Dixville Notch voted. It took them about a minute to vote. In Dixville Notch at just after midnight. Hillary Clinton got 4 votes. Donald Trump got 2. Gary Johnson got 1. And there was a write-in for Mitt Romney. Folks, even in New Hampshire, you really can't make this stuff up. I mean, why would you write in Mitt Romney? That doesn't make any sense. You just can't make this stuff up.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
603-835-3226. That's the number for you to call should you wish to join me here live here on the Rod Eccles Show. What we've got here is leaked. No, I wanted to go over the plates first. Every year, Illinois residents with license plates usually get a notice in the mail to review their stickers for their plates, but now that's not happening, and drivers are starting to get tickets for expired stickers. So, in other words, you don't get a new plate every year. You get, even here in New Hampshire, you get a sticker for the new year. Now, evidently, people are getting tickets when their cars are just parked out in public somewhere. He had a ticket on his car because of the expired plate. So they're not pulling people over. The parking meter, I guess, the meter maids and meter men are walking around handing out tickets for they don't do that here in New Hampshire, I don't believe. I've never seen that happen. They usually save that and let the police pull you over and tow your car and all that kind of stuff. But he had a ticket on his car because of the expired plate. That's what Wanda Martin said about her husband. And back in September, the Secretary of State reminded drivers that they would no longer get renewal notices in the mail. And they're blaming the Secretary of State because they no longer got notices in the mail. That was a reminder. Put it together with my bills and go ahead and pay it. But this time it didn't come, and so I got a $100 ticket. Look, folks. What are you depending on your government to do this for? Really? You can't take care of your own, remind yourself of having to pay your car's registration on an annual basis? You got to have the government tell you? Look, this is what I'm talking about, government dependence. We've become so dependent on government telling us everything instead of us taking responsibility for ourselves. Now, granted, Illinois is a big liberal state, but at the same time, look, the state wants to get more money, and they know that this is going to be a short infusion of cash. If they get people, they're getting people by not telling them that, their registration is due. So, hey, not only are you going to have to pay your registration in order to keep your car on the road, but now you got to pay an additional $100 or more ticket. Yeah, it sounds very fair. But yet, you people still vote for those wonderful, wonderful liberals every single time. I just don't get it. I don't.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill, a breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help, just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following letters were written by our troops.
My dear fellow Americans, I truly appreciate your support. I was starting to wonder if people had forgotten about us over here, but then one of my buddies showed me this website, and now as tears are streaming down my face, I can see for sure that you haven't. Private Emily B., U.S. Army.
It's so heartwarming to see the American people not letting the men and women of the armed forces be forgotten. Your letters make a group of grown men, battle-hardened and gruff, act like a bunch of kids around a Christmas tree. Thanks. Staff Sergeant Matthew H., U.S. Army.
Your support may be the most important thing our troops can carry with them. But don't take our word for it. Take theirs. To show your support, visit americasupportsyou.mil. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand For each other. For our nation. For us all. The few. The proud. The Marines.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole, wishing you all a happy and a Merry Christmas.
The joy of living is in the giving. So let's give lots of toys for tots.
Since 1947, the United States Marine Corps has been helping Santa fill his sleigh, making happier holidays for deserving children right in your community. Go to toysfortots.org and learn how you can make a difference.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Sunny Tuesday Election Day morning, November the 8th, the year of our Lord 2016, as I broadcast live from the Bunker Eye studio somewhere in the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. Here it is. Oh, by the way, the call-in number, 603-835-3226. Here it is, Election Day. And people are out there. They're ready. They're getting ready to vote. The polls are open, and it's time. Yes, the match is on. Now it is up to you and I, the electorate, to go out there and choose between the two major candidates. And, you know, if you're so inclined, I guess, the two lesser candidates, and if you're so inclined, like one person up there in Dixville Notch, to write in the wonderful Mitt Romney or somebody else. Why would you? Well, I've already been over that over and over ad nauseum. Not going to repeat why people should not be voting for a write-in candidate. It doesn't make any sense. Your write-in candidate is not going to win. Write-in candidates don't win. When was the last time has a write-in candidate ever, well, maybe on a local election, but it's not going to happen on a national election. So why are you wasting your vote? Literally wasting your vote. Because it's my prerogative, and it sets my conscience at ease. You know, your conscience doesn't really count for much when it comes to this kind of stuff. By the way, Donna Brazil says that her conscience is clear after it has come to light that she has given even more questions over to Hillary. I don't even know why we're even bothering. Hillary Clinton, obviously, all she had to do was rest. She didn't have to prepare because she knew the questions ahead of time for the CNN debate because Brazil gave them to her. I don't know why we got this drips and drabs. Oh, here's a question. Donna Brazil gave Hillary Clinton campaign one question. Oh, no. She gave the Clinton campaign a second question. Oh, no. We find out that she gave them even more questions. Oh, we just say that the whole damn thing was a charade. And that Donna Brazil and CNN just basically tried to hand the debates over to Hillary Clinton and thus trying to ensure that she would win. I mean, the cheating, folks, goes beyond just the ballot box. I mean, this is just, I don't, no, I'm not going to. It's just amazing to me how many, I don't know how we're still standing as a nation. I really don't. Looking at all of the stuff that has been going on in this new century, this new millennium. Since January 1, 2001, we have been on this path of self-destruction like, the highway to hell. It's just unbelievable. We have come so far away from the vision of Martin Luther King Jr., of Ronald Reagan, of the founding fathers. It's just absolutely amazing. We've gone from, give you an example, Martin Luther King. How about basing your judgment on a person based on the content of his character, not the color of his skin? And today that's all we have is everybody talking about skin color. And how if you're white, if you're white, you're automatically racist. Forget the content of your character. You're white, you're automatically a racist according to Black Lives Matter. You have this white privilege simply because you're born a certain skin color. Now, I don't know why that's not considered to be racist, because it is. But hey, this is the way things are going now. And we've got people that they don't like others' opinions so much that somebody else's opinion, what somebody else believes, is so painful, so hurtful, that you need protection from that person's thoughts. You need a safe space. Just in 2001, would you have believed that anybody would ever have needed a safe space from somebody else's opinions? Think about that for a second. I mean, even under Bill Clinton's tenure, would anybody have ever thought we'd get to the point where we needed safe spaces from other people's opinions? Folks, we're on a highway to destruction, not highway to hell, just highway to self-destruction. We're paving our own road to destruction. And if we elect Hillary Clinton today, we will have taken the toll booths off that highway. Do you understand? Yeah, there's a lot at stake here. And I know there are a lot of people, a lot of Americans out there that think, it's no big deal. Or they think, well, my vote doesn't matter anyway. I mean, I know, we have we have people that say, well, they can't lock us all up, but frankly, there are people out there that say that they can. That's why they have all these FEMA camps. People are worried about that, There are good, solid citizens and people who believe in America and the United States, and they're good nationalists. They're not. Many of these people are not kooks. They're not conspiracy theorist kooks. And frankly, I have seen pictures myself that make me scratch my head and make me go, Okay, why would they need that? What is that all about? That's in an area that isn't, headed for disaster or anything like that. So these so-called FEMA camps, some of them, let me just say that I have seen pictures that make me go, well, what is that all about? Where is it? Why is it? And what's it all about? Now, there are other pictures I see. Well, there's no camp. There's FEMA camp. That's ridiculous. But there have been a few pictures where I said, well, they may have something here. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I believe in facts. I believe in logic. And when you see certain pictures and you wonder, well, why is that there? And it's not a prison. It's not a newfangled prison. But you can certainly see that this is not a permanent settlement or structure or compound. And yet, the government feels a need to build this. Why? So, locking us all up, maybe that's, not what we would consider in the sense of a prison. But these FEMA-style camps, I don't know, maybe they were preparing to, one of the theories that was behind this is that some of these places were actually there to empty Guantanamo Bay and some of the other places around the Middle East, like over to empty those prisons and cell blocks and bring them to the United States and set them loose in these sort of FEMA camps. That's what some of these pictures probably could have been, according to some people and some of their theories. It's not FEMA camps for U.S. citizens, but they're quote-unquote FEMA camps for terrorist prisoners of war. Hey, that also makes sense. Obama wanted to close Gitmo so bad. And for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda, that's Guantanamo Bay, by the way. But I got to tell you, I don't have this. By the way, I'm out of popcorn. I have to go to the store and get popcorn. But I tell you what I will not be doing, because I'm not so confident. I will not be sitting by the television all afternoon and all evening waiting for any kind of result. I just get the first results. We had Dixville Notch 4-2-1-1, but it is what it is. We were expecting a call this morning, and I do believe we have him on the line. Good morning, Representative.
Hey, good morning, Rod. I apologize for being a few minutes late, but I'm at the polls, and a lot of people are shaking my hand and, saying, go Trump, go. You know what I mean?
I haven't been out there to vote yet. I won't be out there voting until after the program is over this afternoon. But give me a sense of what's on the ground here in New Hampshire. I mean, you're obviously out there among the people. What's the sense that we're getting?
Wow, I tell you, it's unbelievable. I honestly think Trump is going to kick butt here in New Hampshire. I got to my polls at 6 this morning just to put out some more signs. There was a long line already in place, and they said some of them got here at 5:45, and our polls didn't open till 7, just to give you an idea of the motivation, determination, to vote and exercise that right. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Now, that's something I really needed this morning, because I woke up this morning not in a very good place, because I was really worried about them stealing this thing. Not that Trump couldn't get the votes, but because I believe that if it's actually a fair fight, Trump wins hands down. But this isn't fair.
Oh, without a doubt. But something, there's a lot of people are watching. They're seeing what's going on. You know what I mean? So I think, there's some nervousness going on, because if they get caught cheating, it's fraud, and there's fines and other stuff, jail time, depending on the severity of the case there. So, and just in our polls, I see people standing around. I don't know who they are, but they're just sitting there watching.
Now, Representative, what do you think about the Dixville Notch results? 4-2-1.
I think, that was Trump. I think that what 60 votes or something.
Well, out of the what was it, 8 or 9 votes in Dixville Notch this morning, the report that I got had Hillary up 4-2, and Johnson got 1, and Romney had a write-in, and now Dixville Notch is North Country, which is normally more conservative, but Dixville Notch has always been this one that seems to have been more liberal. Do you think that maybe there's too many liberals hiding in southern New Hampshire now that's going to swing the state?
Well, I think so. Of course, that's up north. But now keep in mind here, in Rockingham County, a lot of us legislative are Republicans. We have rhinos that are running as Republicans because that's the only way they can get elected.
Oh.
And they end up voting with the Democrat Party. That's what's killing us here in New Hampshire.
Okay, so people are still looking for that Republican, that conservative, and they think
without a doubt. Well, yeah. When you start going out toward the coast, you go into Manchester or Nashua, there's high, a lot of Democrats, but we still got some Republican seats out of there. But there's quite a few, like I said, within the Rockingham County area.
So you're seeing a lot of positive energy for Trump so far at the polls this morning.
Oh, big time. I was just standing on the street with some people here with a big Veterans for Trump sign there, and the people coming in with a thumbs up are unbelievable. It's a beautiful country we live in, and Trump is going to be victorious today, right?
I certainly hope so. Folks, Representative Baldessaro out of Londonderry, New Hampshire, giving us a report on the ground. I guess I needed that this morning because I didn't see anything this morning as far as what was going on in New Hampshire. So I needed an on-the-ground report.
Some of the stuff I got, talking with other people, like in Derry and in Manchester, they said people are unbelievable coming out to vote. This is a good sign here for Trump.
Well, I definitely hope there is a victory for Trump. And if there is, you know what? We should go out and have a drink. We should go get some ship. You know what? We'll do one better. Representative, we'll do what Obama always says. We'll go out together and get a beer to celebrate Trump's.
Hey, we can do that. We can make that happen. But tonight, I'm actually going to be on a flight at 8:00 here, heading for New York. I'll be at the victory party.
All right, that's a guy.
So I'm looking forward to that.
All right, thank you so much for checking in with us, Representative.
Okay.
Keep
you
up
have
the
a
good
great
work
American day.
Yes,
well, we're going to
too.
kick butt and take names today. That's for sure.
All right. Thank you so much.
Go Trump. All right, Rod. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I like that guy. He's a firecracker. I really like him. I'd sit down and have a beer with him. I don't know. There's probably he's in Londonderry, so there's plenty of good Irish pubs over there and British pubs that we could go have a beer. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 plus 2 equals perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
That's the number that you can utilize to call this program and speak to me. I know there is no option B when you use that number. You're calling to speak to me and me only. Sorry, there is no other option. No, you can't call to speak to Donald Trump. You can't call to speak to Hillary Clinton. And if Hillary Clinton were here, I'd lock her up. I'd lock her in the bathroom. Just saying. So she wouldn't be able to get me. No, I'd put her in the closet. Is she in the closet, by the way? I mean, there's all those rumors that her and Uma are having an affair. I can't really see that myself, actually. I mean, I know a lot of guys say, "Oh no, Uma's ugly." No, I don't think she's exactly ugly. She's not. She's a decent-looking woman. I've said that before. Hey, makeup can do wonders. So I don't know what she looks like in the morning, but without the makeup on. But there are some people that makeup is the huge difference. And by the way, did you know that there is now this growing cosmetic part of the growing industry in cosmetics for makeup for men, makeup for guys, male makeup. Yeah, no, men are not having they don't need to go down the woman's aisle to get their mascara and rouge or whatever they call that stuff you put on your cheeks now. Is it blush, rouge? I don't know. But evidently, it's now I haven't seen it yet, I don't think. Well, I haven't looked for it. But in the men's cosmetic, where the guys get their deodorant and their shaving cream, well, evidently there's now male cosmetics, makeup. What? And that's the fastest growing part of the makeup industry right now is male cosmetics. Not fragrance, not deodorants, not moisturizers and lotions, but the actual now I guess the old notion that men need to put on their face in the morning. What is this? How did we get to this point? Well, Rod, men used to wear makeup all the time back in the in the dark ages and in all the other ages back then. Men would wear George Washington, all those guys. They had powdered wigs and everything. Well, we've moved past that, have we not? Yeah, and this is not the same thing today versus what it was back then as far as this whole this is not masquerade time. This I don't know. I'm just a little bit taken aback by reading some of this stuff and learning about it. And what you're not confident in your own masculinity, Rod? Well, yeah, but I'm not. If I'm not on TV or in the movies or something, just for every day going to work, I'm not putting on any makeup. Well, what is up with that? Really, people really don't think that they think they look that bad. That men now going to have, it's a feminization of men. That's what it is. That's all it is. Feminization.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
603-835-3226. Get up and dance. I guess get some energy in you. Speaking of energy, this weekend, either I will be going out to California to celebrate or I'll be going out there to console. One way or the other. It is going to be an event you don't want to miss. I'll be giving the keynote at the CFRW's Northern Division Fall Conference at the Sacramento Marriott in Rancho Cordova, California, which is Saturday the 12th. The festivities begin at 5 p.m. RodEccles.net and Facebook.com/Rod Eccles Speaker for all the details. Looking forward to it. And, well, it's with Northern California, basically, right? San Francisco, Sacramento, that's kind of Northern California. Do they get snow in Sacramento? I suppose they could, but it doesn't get as cold there as it does here in New England. But today, I guess we're expecting really beautiful sunny weather up in the 60s, hitting 60, I guess, is what they're saying here in the Granite State. So there should be no hindrance anywhere for people to vote here in much of New England. It's supposed to be a clear, sunny day for much of the day. Hopefully tomorrow will also be sunny and not rainy. If Hillary wins, it'll be rainy. If Trump wins, it'll be very sunny and bright all across the nation. Even if you've got overcast. Wait a minute. I like science and stuff, and I have to check really. Computers can be great. Let's see November 14th. Sorry, never mind. I was thinking of the supermoon was happening this week, but that's next week. The supermoon is on November 14th. So hopefully, the last time we had a supermoon here in New England, it was cloudy. We couldn't see it. Kind of sucked. But next week's supermoon, they say, is going to be the largest since 1948. It also probably means that there are going to be more nut jobs out there running round wild, thinking that they're werewolves or something. I don't know. You think you might have a problem with creepy clowns? How about creepy werewolves? Excuse me. Little bit of a sneeze there off the mic. Hey, this is important. And it's so important that even Yahoo News covered this. This is from Yahoo News, yahoo.com. 6.1 million illegals filed taxes in the U.S. You hear this all the time. Well, illegals, they pay taxes. Illegals, they contribute. Hey, if you contribute, I think that if you come here and you contribute, you're a citizen. Isn't that what we heard from an interview with the wonderful potentate Obama yesterday? Yeah, well, 6.1 illegals filed taxes in the U.S. However, many of them didn't pay a dime, but yet received refunds. Wait. They're illegally here in this country, working illegally. They are brazen enough to file taxes, but they don't pay any taxes. But yet they get a refund. And this is from Yahoo News, so we know that this is not some right-wing, website that's trying to stir up hatred for immigrants, undocumented workers. Evidently, they're documenting themselves, so they're not undocumented. They're filing tax returns, so that means they're documented now, and they're getting a refund. They're getting a subsidy. They're getting a check. See, this is why I say, why even bother bringing them here? Why don't we just mail them a check over there? Then you wouldn't lose any. None of them would die, and you wouldn't have to worry about all these cartel people, enslaving people to bring them over here. Whether it be, the Japanese Yakuza or the Mexican cartel or whatever they want to call the criminal entities around the globe. In the last presidential debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, Clinton said that half of all illegal immigrants in the U.S. actually pay federal income tax. PolitiFact, a Pulitzer Prize-winning fact-check organization, investigated Clinton's claim and reported, while there is no official figure, experts estimate that about half of all undocumented workers pay federal income tax, if not more. In reality, the polar opposite is true. Federal government data shows that while roughly half of illegal immigrants file federal tax returns, the vast majority of them don't pay any federal income taxes. Instead, they use these returns to claim refundable tax credits. The child, what is it? The child tax credit thing that supposed poor people's country use to get a refund even when they don't pay any income taxes, federal income taxes, but they still get a refund check. Yes. So, basically, they use these returns to claim refundable tax credits, which are a form of cash welfare. In other words, illegal immigrants mainly use a federal income tax code to collect money from you and I, U.S. citizens. Even, hey, you newly minted citizens, you people who just took the oath of citizenship over the past year, or no matter when you did it, doesn't matter. Understand that you are now responsible for paying for these illegals. Do you get it? Your taxes are now going to pay for illegals. Now, many of you newly minted citizens followed the rules, followed the law, waited your turn, and spent a lot of money, a lot of your hard-earned money to get here and become citizens of this country legally. And you're going to tell me that you're okay with all of these other people, illegals, undocumented, jumping the line and getting special treatment. Special treatment that you did not get. Now, what they say is that reliable data on illegal immigrants is scarce. However, federal law generally prohibits illegal immigrants from earning income in the U.S., but many of them do so by working for cash and by fraudulently using Social Security numbers. So, these people, they commit, not only do they cross the border illegally, that's already breaking a couple of laws right there, but they commit identity fraud by stealing people's Social Security numbers from living and the dead so they can get jobs. Now, people go to jail for a long period of time for committing identity fraud. And yet, if you're an illegal immigrant, you get a pass. I don't understand how our system of government, laws works anymore. We will go after citizens for not paying a stupid annual or biannual registration fee on their car. But yet we're willing to give an illegal alien a driver's license. They should not be in the country at all, but we're willing to give them a driver's license. And yet, at the same time, we're pouncing and pounding on citizens who drive left and right. For God forbid that a citizen do a rolling stop in front of a police officer. Oh no! They're going to get ticketed, especially if you're white or black. You're going to get ticketed. Or worse. But if you look Hispanic, Latino, well then all of a sudden you are, profiling. And you can't do that. That's bad to profile. So you can profile somebody who looks like they're an American. Oh yeah, that's fine. But you profile who's somebody who possibly could be an immigrant, an illegal immigrant at that. Oh no, that's terrible. That's bad. Cops got to stop that. Sheriff Arpaio needs to go to jail for doing that. Nope, you can't do that. This is. I don't look, folks. We need some sort of semblance of structure back in this country because we've lost it. I don't know. I have no idea how we lost it. Well, I do. I have an inside track, but it's not that I don't know how I don't know how Americans let it go as long as we've let it go. I get, we were, well, the destruction of this country I'm putting at the feet of two entities. One, the public school education in this country, and two, the lamestream media. Two of the most powerful private institutions, and in public school education really is kind of on the private side. It's not. The NEA is really in charge of public schools. The government really isn't. NEA tells the government what the policy should be, and the Department of Education says, yeah, that's great. Yeah, we're going to go with that. Yeah, I know, and you get the left that always blames the NRA for everything, but how about the NEA? These people are in charge of educating our minds full of mushes, our pupils. Does anybody ever still use the term pupil? I don't, probably not. But our wonderful little minds full of mushes. And now we've got a generation. Now here's the scary part, folks. We've let this go on for so long. Here's the scary part. You've got the millennials out there who were taught all this nonsense, who believe all this nonsense ad nauseum today. You can even just give them the evidence that they're wrong, that the exact opposite is true, but because they were indoctrinated into this type of thinking, they'll still disbelieve the information and the proof. They'll disbelieve it. This is why some of them don't believe all the Hillary Clinton negativity. That's not right. WikiLeaks got it wrong. They got it right on George Bush, but they got it wrong in Hillary Clinton. Now understand, those millennials are now teaching your children. Some of those millennials are, 30 years old, 35? They're 25, 30, 35 years old. They're teachers now. And they're out there teaching what they were indoctrinated with. Think about that. And tell me again how Donald Trump is so dangerous to this country. We're a danger to ourselves, folks. We really are. You got to get out. Today is the day that you got to get out there, and you have to pull the lever for Donald Trump. Forget about all this, well, my conscience won't let me. It's a bunch of bullshit, and you know it. Your conscience won't let you vote for Donald Trump, but your conscience will be all right and fine if the United States ceases to be the United States as we know it. That your conscience is going to be fine at that. But it's not going to be fine enough to vote for Donald Trump. That's the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard when it comes to voting. My conscience will be clear if I write in, Mitt Romney. Really? So Hillary Clinton wins and totally destroys the country, and your conscience is clear. How is that even? Do you even know what a conscience is? Probably not. But hey, who am I? I'm just some guy from New Hampshire that has a radio show. What do I know? I don't. You don't know me. You know what people say? But here's the deal. I do know you. And I know that if you vote for anybody other than Donald Trump, or God forbid Hillary Clinton, if you vote for anybody other than Donald Trump, you're voting for Hillary Clinton. And that, in my book, makes you an idiot, and your conscience is not clear. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
use that number to call this program. No other number will be accepted. Just the 603-835-3226. It's the only way you're going to get through to me. And back to the story that I started out the program with. Leaked documents reveal expansive Soros funding to manipulate federal elections. We can't allow this guy to get away with this. Leaked funding documents reveal an effort by George Soros and his foundations to manipulate election laws and process rules ahead of the federal election far more expansively than has been previously reported. The billionaire and convicted felon moved hundreds of millions of dollars into often secret efforts to change election laws, fuel litigation to attack election integrity measures, push public narratives about voter fraud, and to integrate the political ground game on the left with efforts to scare racial minority groups about voting rights threats. Black Lives Matter is financially supported by a Soros group. Just so you know. Just so you know. All that wonderful stuff that's happening out there, we can thank Soros for a lot of it. George, that's his name. Just so you know, he's a billionaire. He owns a mansion and a yacht. Now, basically, these Soros-funded efforts moved through dozens of 501c3 and C4 charities and involved the active compliance with civil rights groups, government officials, and purportedly nonpartisan groups like the League of Women Voters. The leaked documents also reveal deliberate and successful efforts to manipulate media coverage of election issues in mainstream media outlets like the New York Times. Now, he's really not a nice guy. He's a globalist. He's an elitist. He believes in the ruling class versus everybody else. And he's also one of those people that does not like the new rich. Not nouveau, but new rich. Soros believes in what he thinks is old money. You know, and well, there's it's by the way, there's also a story out there about an 11-year-old boy talking about his teacher. Evidently, his teacher, the kid's like 11, 12 years old. His teacher propositioned him for sex, and she did it by being nude. I don't know what's wrong with people today. It's just, this country is like, just, it's absolutely insane. We got George Soros, who's funding evil all over the planet, especially here in the United States. Here's a guy who's accused of selling out his own people numerous times. He's Jewish, evidently, Austrian Jew, but selling out his own people numerous times. He doesn't support Israel at all, and he's a Jew. He foments violence and hatred among people. He tries to split us up and separate us. And what you get is a bunch of leftists out there running around talking about how bad the Koch brothers are. And George Soros spends a ton more money than the Kochs. And the Kochs don't want to run your life. George Soros does. The Kochs want government out of your life. George Soros wants government in your life, getting in your way on a daily basis. And if you fall astray of their perfect society, well, they're going to either jail you or find the you-know-what out of you and take your wallet. This is just absolutely insanity that we'd go through all this kind of crap. Unbelievable.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill, a breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help, just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following letters were written by our troops.
My dear fellow Americans, I truly appreciate your support. I was starting to wonder if people had forgotten about us over here, but then one of my buddies showed me this website, and now as tears are streaming down my face, I can see for sure that you haven't. Private Emily B., U.S. Army.
It's so heartwarming to see the American people not letting the men and women of the armed forces be forgotten. Your letters make a group of grown men, battle-hardened and gruff, act like a bunch of kids around a Christmas tree. Thanks. Staff Sergeant Matthew H., U.S. Army.
Your support may be the most important thing our troops can carry with them. But don't take our word for it. Take theirs. To show your support, visit americasupportsyou.mil. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole, wishing you all a happy and a Merry Christmas.
The joy of living is in the giving. So let's give lots of toys for tots.
Since 1947, the United States Marine Corps has been helping Santa fill his sleigh, making happier holidays for deserving children right in your community. Go to toysfortots.org and learn how you can make a difference.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
State of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. Yes, indeed. Here it is, Election Day, November the 8th in the year of our Lord 2016, which makes that a Tuesday. The call-in number here is 603-835-3226 as we start off hour number 3 here with a bang. And, well, not a bang, but a bell. Yes, it is time for the two major candidates to finally square off in round number 15. You know, remember the old heavyweight fights? They were scheduled for 15 rounds. Frankly, I don't know why anybody ever wanted to box, to tell you the truth. I mean, that's grueling stuff. Remember the old Muhammad Ali battles and, you know, with George Foreman and Smoking Joe Frazier and even Leon Spinks, and even the Larry Holmes tenure as the heavyweight champion, and Mike Tyson. Who's the heavyweight champion now? I don't know. The boxing has fallen out of favor, really. Now we got the ultimate fighting stuff, mixed martial arts fighting. I never really found that to be exciting because 90% of the time when I watch it, you know, you get about 30 seconds of fighting and then it's grappling on the floor until somebody taps out. That's not fighting. Come on. But I wouldn't want to do it any other, you know, the boxing thing. Those guys took a pounding, man, just punch and punch and punch. 15 rounds is. That's just it's insane. I don't know whoever thought of that. Just let's just fight till complete exhaustion. Those guys were athletes. Absolutely, no doubt about it. They were true athletes. In any case, we've got the round 15. Are we going to get a knockout? Well, somebody's going to definitely win. There's going to be a decision. It's going to be a decision, and it can't be a split decision because neither one is the incumbent at the moment. So it is going to be a decision that is going to take America in one direction or another. And, I'm glad Representative Baldessaro called in earlier today and talked about the excitement out there. That's good. Made me feel a little bit better, but I still have this very unsettled, uneasy feeling about what's going to happen. And, I know everybody's all lawyered up, and they've got lawyers waiting to go in order after the results come in from some places. Don't doubt people on that one. They are definitely going to lawyer up. It's sad that we have to go through that. But that's the way it is. By the way, officials are preparing for an unusually busy election. And they're saying actually chaotic. They're calling it chaotic election. For an unusually chaotic election, state officials prepare for this is the Washington Post, by the way. They prepared for an unusually chaotic election day. Now, I don't know what that means, unusually chaotic, but state leaders, voting experts, and advocates say they are preparing for an unusual level of confusion and chaos today as voters cast their ballots in a historically bitter presidential. Voting experts? We got voting. What the hell is a voting expert? I don't know either. If you know, let me know. I don't know what a voting expert is. Early voters in some states have faced hours-long lines the past several days. Democrats have filed a flurry of last-minute lawsuits alleging voter intimidation by Donald Trump supporters, and there have been some heated polling site confrontations between Trump voters and Hillary voters. Actually, that's not what they said. They said between Trump voters and Hillary backers. So are the Hillary backers not voting? What? I don't. Folks, it's a crazy mess out there. It's so crazy, as a matter of fact, that Hillary couldn't get people to come to her rallies, so she had to turn to music stars like Bruce Springsteen and Jay-Z and B and Lady Gaga. Now, evidently, this is reported from the sun.co.uk. Another foreign offshore publication is reporting what's going on here in America. And this is what they're saying. She looks like a futuristic Nazi. Speaking of Lady Gaga's costume from last night's rally, outrage as Lady Gaga's bizarre costume at Clinton rally is likened to a Nazi uniform. Gotta tell you. Well, I'm seeing a little bit of, remember, well, no, that really wasn't a Nazi uniform, but she's got the red band and everything around certain parts of the costume, and it really is kind of reminiscent of Nazi SS dress. And trust me, that's done on purpose, folks. It's not by accident. It is not by accident whatsoever that Lady Gaga might be dressed up looking like a Nazi. I do believe that we have Congressman Genta calling in the line. Are you there, Congressman?
Yes, I am. Hi, Rod. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? How are you feeling
this
morning?
Thanks. Hey, we feel great. I mean, the turnout is high all over the state. I think that's a good thing. I think it means people are engaged, but I think it means people want change. So I'm excited about what we're seeing, and the last 10 days of this campaign, I think, have been strong for the issues that I think matter to the Granite Staters that I've been focusing on, particularly, getting things accomplished, Rod. I mean, I've gotten 6 pieces of legislation signed into law by this president. I've been able to get him to see maybe the error of some of his ways. That, I think, is the kind of leadership that people want in the state of New Hampshire, but then also focusing on fiscal responsibility, balancing our budget. I identified $60 billion in wasteful spending that we're able to focus on cutting through this budget process. After I voted against the budget, against the omnibus, I was then asked to roll up my sleeves and get to work and try to make a more fiscally responsible budget. Those things, I think, matter to Granite State families. And, when you heard over the last 2 weeks about the Obamacare hikes of 25% and a 28% reduction in carriers, I think people have had enough, and they're looking for change. So I think the turnout today is reflective of that necessity for change for hardworking families in our state.
Well, I think the last poll that I saw actually kind of flipped in a couple of races. You now and Kelly, Senator Ayotte are now ahead, and so is Trump. So, are you seeing that out there so far? Do you see that?
Yeah,
kind of...
we're seeing in the polling and tracking numbers that we rely on, Republicans coming home, independents breaking Republican, and even some disaffected Democrats who particularly are supporting my efforts. And I think it's because of my ability to try to work across the aisle on issues that matter to everyone. So, look, I think some of these races are going to be tight. There's no question about it. You never underestimate the ability of the Democratic Party to turn out their vote. But I do feel ultimately that we'll be successful today and be able to continue to serve the people of the great state.
Well, I am hoping that we continue to turn out and that we go back to being more red than blue. Are you seeing that could be the possibility here that will be a definite red state again?
Yeah, I think it's very possible. Look, as voters go to the voting booth and they start to think about the last 20 years, particularly of state government, and the last 20 years, Rod, we've had 18 of those 20 with a Democrat governor. So average weekly wages have been stagnant over much of that time. The real unemployment number is close to 10%. The cost of living has increased for families, yet they're not getting increases in their pay, nor are they getting increases from Social Security because the Social Security Administration claims that they don't need it. The median income, family income, is $56,000. Hasn't changed much over the last decade. Life is getting tougher for people, and I think that they're looking for a new direction when it comes to who will be our next governor. I think Chris Sununu has made a persuasive argument, bringing his business experience. Someone who was born and raised in New Hampshire, has an engineering background, and takes an approach that will make our state, more competitive, not just regionally but nationally. I think that's what people want. Essentially, we've got more job opportunities here in the state of New Hampshire. So I think there's a good chance that he will win. Again, on the federal issues, we need tax reform. That's what I stand for. We need to repeal Obamacare and provide it and replace it with a patient-centered, merit-based system. We need to get rid of the $2 trillion in regulatory compliance that's stifling our economy. We need to repatriate the $2.4 trillion that's overseas, bring those resources back, start creating American jobs again. And I think that's what people see as the long-term need, so they're looking to make our state red.
I reported on a report that came out this morning about the jobs numbers for one, and how illegal immigrants are affecting our job numbers. And I know there's been talk about immigration reform, but there's also another report that states that now about half the known illegal immigrants in this country are filing income tax forms, but the majority of them aren't paying any federal income tax, yet they're getting a refund check.
Refunds.
Yes. Is there anything that you're working on right now as far as this getting, at least just following the current immigration laws and starting to enforce these things so this doesn't happen? Because we're spending an awful lot of money.
We are. So immediately I signed on the legislation at the beginning of this term that we actually passed in the House of Representatives to address that issue. Of course, it didn't go anywhere in the Senate. Secondly, I support the notion, the idea of auditing every department, including the IRS, to truly identify who is gaming the system. If you're an illegal immigrant and you're filing a tax return and you're getting money back, that's a violation of law that should not occur. So not only are we wasting taxpayer time in terms of, the people who work at the IRS, but now we're spending and sending taxpayer money to someone who is here illegally. That should not be the case. I would submit that I hope that we have bipartisan agreement on that issue. And I believe it's an issue that's going to come up in the Oversight Government Reform hearings, and we'll try to bring legislation to the floor. But the important thing, Rod, is who we elect on Tuesday. You need a president and you need a Senate that is willing to take up these issues. The House is willing to take up these issues. We've got a good group of Republicans that work on a bipartisan basis with Democrats who believe in the rule of law to try to address these issues. But that's why this vote is so critical today, and I encourage people to get out and do the right thing.
Absolutely. I encourage people to get out and vote as well. And if you're in Congressman Ginta's district here in New Hampshire, definitely cast a vote his way. I endorse Congressman Ginta. I've always liked you, Congressman. You've always been a straight shooter, and that's one of the things I've liked about you. You haven't been. You were. People still talk about your tenure as mayor of Manchester as being the good old days. So.
I enjoyed being mayor of Manchester. My family and I still call Manchester home, and but I look, we took on a lot of problems that were going on at the time, and we were able to go through the budget, cut taxes for the first time in a decade. That doesn't happen very often in the state of New Hampshire. We cut borrowing in half. We increased the resources that we had for public safety, reduced the violent crime and property crime rates, and we got rid of the drug problem at the time in the city, and we were rated one of the best managed cities in America and one of the best places to live as a result of that thoughtful business practice. I want to apply that same approach to the federal government, and I've been trying in this term to do it. We've made some inroads, but I'll tell you, the most important thing we can do is budget reform. The 74 Budget Act needs an overhaul. We have to have a budget process that works, that doesn't give us an omnibus or minibus or a CR at the end of the year, so we can actually reform where spending occurs, reform public policies that make sense, that meet the needs of Americans today. So I'm optimistic about that will happen. I'm fighting for those things, and now that I was added to the Budget Committee and I have a stronger voice, so far it's working. I mean, again, identifying $60 billion in cuts, requiring a balanced budget amendment to be voted on by the House of Representatives, I think those things are critically important for our nation.
Well, Congressman, thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy running around out there trying to get people out there to vote, and I wish you all the best of luck this afternoon and this evening, and hopefully by this evening tonight we'll be sending you instead of your opponent down to D.C. again to be fighting for Americans, actually.
Well, thank you very much, Rod, for having me on, and thanks for the kind words, and appreciate your willingness to have me on your show, and good luck with the show.
Thank you very much, Congressman. Congressman Frank Ginta out of New Hampshire, folks. Don't forget to get out there and vote. Please vote, and vote right. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0 Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
There's all kinds of interesting things going on out there with the Clintons and this Clinton presidential campaign. One of the things that's come to light, it's not just George Soros, but WikiLeaks is showing that donor list shows that Clinton team with big pharma, big banks, pro-illegal immigrant groups, and they've released a list of donors to the Clinton campaign, and it's unbelievable about the ties to these people that the Clintons have. And of course, as we all say, you got to pay to play, right? So all these people are going to be expecting something in return once Clinton is elected. She's going to have to deliver on at least some of these promises that she's made to these people, which is why they've been giving her so much money, because they expect to make a hell of a lot more in return. But hey, you don't look, folks. There is one particular way that you can stop the Clinton machine. They're not unstoppable. They're not this unstoppable juggernaut. I know they're crooked. I know they're criminalistic. I know that they've been able to get away with so much before. But that can stop today. We can send a message to the corrupt. We can send a message to them and say, no more. We want our country back. We want to be able to live in freedom and in peace. And we're tired of all this mamby-pamby, wimpy, political correctness garbage that's harming our children and thus harming our nation's future. Can you imagine sending people into, men into battle? Will Army have to include in their rations male makeup from now on or something? Well, just asking.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
after this event we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
I know a lot of people out there are wondering about another talk show host that goes by the name of Glenn Beck. Now, I don't like to talk about other talk show hosts on here. There's this sort of unwritten rule that you don't go trashing other people, in your same profession all the time. Well, I mean, it's just trash talk. Why not? They do it in football. I don't know why talk radio is any different, but this look, it's just their opinion. It's not how they're playing. It's just we're talking about variances in opinion, differing opinions. But this is something that's just so out of whack, off the charts, oddball, that I can't not. I cannot comment on this. Glenn Beck is out there embracing Barack Obama now and he says, and I quote, "Barack Obama has made me a better man." I don't know if that means that Glenn Beck was just a total derelict of a male in order for Obama to make him a better man, or if he means it in a way that, Obama has made me better because now I'm more on my game, and he's made me sharper because he's been so sly and cunning. But I don't think that's the latter, because he said, look, I did a lot of freaking out about Barack Obama. There are things unique to the African American experience that I just cannot relate to. So Obama has made me a better man, and I now support Black Lives Matter. And I got it. When I saw this, I'm thinking, wait, what? Hello? Is this one of those body snatcher doubles? Look, I know Glenn Beck has always been kind of ever since he left Fox, he's been this kind of kooky oddball character. But at this particular point, I mean, I got to think, well, geez, that's the only explanation possible. Either the man is drugged, or it's invasion of the body snatchers, and he's one of those pod people. Because this is not making any sense. Did the president get to Glenn Beck and his family? I thought Glenn, isn't that why he moved to look, he moved to Texas. Texas is not exactly Barack Obama country. Have you seen Barack Obama traveling to Texas very often? No. When was the last time Barack Obama was in Texas? I don't live there, so I don't know. But I'm guessing it probably was not. He didn't go very often, because it's not Barack Obama country. It's not Barack Obama territory. It's not exactly, except maybe out of a couple of the cities like Austin. It's really not a liberal state. It's pretty much a red state. You got a blue city here or there. Austin's blue. I think Houston is turning blue, but. But other than that, it's a red state. So why the hell would he move to a red state if he was going to turn blue? None of this makes any sense. How the hell is Barack Obama making Glenn Beck a better man? And how in the hell, unless Glenn Beck is falling for this notion that if you don't believe in Black Lives Matter, you're a racist. Which if that's the case, then Glenn, you're an idiot and you're weak. Not meek, weak. W. This is insanity. I am glad that today it's finally here. Maybe we can, in either way it goes, we're finally, after today, we're going to settle down into some semblance of normalcy, I think. No matter who wins the election, the country is either going to be saved or destroyed by our vote today. It really is. And if Trump wins, that's not going to be the end of the left. They're going to just go. They're going to go ape bat. You know what? Crazy. They really are. And be prepared for some rioting. Be prepared for some public damage. Damaging going on to public property and private property from the left. But if Clinton wins, you're not going to see that from the right, but you'll see it from the left should Trump win. And I think many people were well aware of that, and a lot of people have taken certain precautions just in case Trump does win. But you need to take equal precautions in case Hillary wins, because there could be victory riots out of this, and of course, the mainstream media is going to try to portray it as the Tea Party is behind it, but no, Tea Party will not be behind it. Tea Party will be too busy digging bunkers and hunkering down for the inevitable potential gun grab that's going to come with Hillary. It's just going to happen, folks. She's gonna try to stack the Supreme Court deck. And before her first 4 years are up, she's going to have a way to severely limit your access and your right to carry and own a firearm. Plain and simple. So, I don't know. I need to learn how to make arrows. I really do. Is there a class somewhere that you can, is there a community, can you go to a community college and learn how to make arrows? I don't know. I would love to. I don't know if you can. It'd be a good thing if you could, right? But we will. We'll have to wait and see. I suppose. This thing is just. It's got this whole election has got people in such a stitch. You got people on the left that are just chomping at the bit, wringing their hands, realizing that this is as close as they've ever come to completely and utterly controlling and destroying the United States of America and the Constitution. They are wringing their hands on this one. I mean, they're sitting in the shadows just waiting, going, yes, we're almost there. We can taste the victory. We've almost got it. We've almost brought the United States to its knees. And remember, this is not due to some outside attack. This would not be due to an enemy from without attacking our borders. This is completely due, if we destroy ourselves, it will be completely due to an attack from within. Just like ancient Rome, just like ancient Greece. Great societies that could not have been defeated from external sources, but instead were defeated by those external sources because they were so weakened and destroyed from within. That's just the way it works. Militarily, ideologically, from an external point of view, we're too strong. We cannot be defeated from an outside force. We can only be defeated from within. And we're doing it to ourselves. And you have the left over there wringing their hands saying, yes, the internationalists, the globalists are out there. And look, I love it when people talk about, well, Putin is all for the globalists. No, Putin is not. Xi of China is not. None of them are for this globalist kind of thing. Yeah, well, they're not. None of them. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. You know what they don't particularly like Clinton, not because they think that she's going to be so tough. You know, in a way, I think the reason why Putin may like Trump is because Trump is also an anti-globalist. Now, trust me, it does not mean that Putin and Trump see eye to eye on anything else. They don't necessarily see eye to eye in the Middle East. I mean, I know that Trump's talking about, look, you got to take care of ISIS. Got to take care of ISIS. You take them out. You kill them all. You take care of ISIS. Well, you know, Russia may not like ISIS, but they kind of, they like the Syrian regime as it is. But Trump is an anti-globalist. He doesn't believe in that kind of stuff because he wants the United. He believes in USA first. He's going to put the United States first. Just as Putin puts Russia first. Just as President Xi puts China first. We don't have anybody putting America first right now. And if we elect Clinton, she's not going to put America first. She's going to sell us out. She's going to sell us down the river to the globalists, like George Soros. And if we go that route, it's going to be we're going to have to do a Brexit vote in order to get out of it, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's just, by the way, did you know that government workers currently, and this is the problem with having such a large bureaucracy, because then you get these people who vote, and of course they're going to vote for big government. Government workers now outnumber manufacturing workers by nearly 10 million. So what? That's right. The United States lost 9,000 manufacturing jobs back in October while gaining 19,000 jobs in government, according to data released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Government employment grew from 22.2 million in September. In other words, here are the numbers: 22,216,000 in September to 22,235,000 in October, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. While manufacturing jobs dropped from 12,267,000 to 12,258,000. The 22,235,000 employed by government in the United States now outnumber the 12,258,000 employed by manufacturing by nearly 10 million people. Over the past year, from October 2015 to October 2016, manufacturing employment fell by 53,000 jobs, declining from 12,311,000 to 12,258,000 during the same period. Government employment climbed 208,000 people, rising from 22,027,000 to 22,235,000. So the government bureaucracy gets bigger and bigger and bigger, gets more and more expensive, taking more and more of your hard-earned money, giving it away to people who don't deserve it, who don't need it, who don't deserve it because they're not citizens, and then telling you that you're such a bad person because you don't want to help somebody else. And not only that, you have got to buy this product. Look, if Hillary Clinton is elected president, if you think that health care or health insurance is the only thing that this government is going to force you to buy, you got another thing coming. There's other stuff coming that they're going to force. You're not going to have any money left. You're not going to have any. Just telling you, you vote for this stuff, this is what you're going to get. You get the government that you deserve by the government that you vote for. Plain and simple. Well, I didn't vote for this mess, but I have to still suffer with the rest of you. Isn't it wonderful how you have people, well, I didn't vote for this, well, I didn't vote for Well, if nobody voted for this, then how did we get it? Somebody had to vote for it. So if you don't want this kind of mess anymore, then get out there and vote this morning and this afternoon and this evening. Well, only vote once. You know, we conservatives, we do not say vote early, vote often. We just say vote. Make sure your vote counts. We don't need to cheat. Isn't that pretty amazing? For the most part, Republicans don't cheat, yet we still win elections. And Democrats cheat, and they still are losing elections. Anybody see the irony in that? No, I know. Most people don't see the irony in it, but I do. I see the huge irony in it. Folks, before we get out of here, just let me remind you once again, for you musicians out there, to go and send us your original holiday song. MP3 format, please. Must be an original composition of your making. Or it must be a cover of an old standard. In other words, Christmas song that was originally written and performed before 1950. Make sure it's a Christmas song. You get full credit on the air and on the website. So better yet, just go to the website, click on the Rod Eccles Show button, and on that page you will see all the details and information you need to submit your original Christmas song to the program so that it can be played on the air during the holiday season. All entries must be received by December 5th, 2016. They must be original. They must be a Christmas song. They must be in MP3 format, and you must send them to the Rod Eccles Show at gmail.com. Entries received in any other format other than MP3 will not be reviewed and thus will not be played on the air. I'll also understand that just because you submit a song or two or five does not mean that we will play them. We are not obligated to play any of them. However, when we do play them, if we do play your song, you will get full credit along with mention of your website. And so you could garner some new fans. Could be worth your time. Just saying. Also worth your time is getting my book, The Conservative Ecclesiastes. Makes a great Christmas gift, by the way. It's a Kindle download. You can give Kindles away as a gift. It costs less than a cup of coffee, and it's a top-selling Kindle download in the short read category. It's a quick read. Just get it. And it's less than a cup of coffee. Can't go wrong there. In any case, it is that time of the year, or years, that we got to hope that you people go out there and vote, and you vote en masse, in large part, in every state in the union, for none other than Donald Trump. Because, frankly, there is no other alternative. We'll be back to wrap it up. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on The Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
This goes along with the wonderful idea that other people should run your life for you and make decisions for you. Apple bans device owners, you iPhone people, from operating the Rich Kids app that swaggering socialites use to boast of their luxury lifestyles, and it charges £1,000 a month to flush out the fakes from the real millionaires. But the Rich Kid app was removed from Apple devices, but founders are not giving up. The app inspired by Rich Kid's Instagram page received criticism and had a membership fee of just under £1,000, which is about nearly $2,000, but was downloaded by 25,000 people. Rather than let the people decide if they like the app or not, Apple decided for them by banning the app and actually going so far as to remove it from many of their iPhone devices. Folks, I gotta tell you, this is typical stuff, from liberals. They don't like it. They don't want you to have it. They're not going to give you the choice. If you want it, too bad. You can't have it. Kind of like, guns. If you want a gun, no, you can't have a gun. Because I'm a liberal and I say you can't have one. Well, that's just the way it is with these people, folks. I tried warning you before. Now you have a chance to do something, so get out there and vote. I'm about to do my civic duty. I'm about to leave the bunkerized studio and head out there into the nether regions of called other places in New Hampshire and go to my voting place and cast my wonderful vote. And I will be voting for everyone on the ticket who is as conservative as I can possibly vote for. I don't care if that's a D or an R, but in most cases it will be an R. And I will be voting for Donald Trump, and you need to do the same in order to save our republic. Until then, hopefully tomorrow will be good news. In either case, I'll be back. I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. Now get out there and vote. I'm out.